This episode of the Cloud Accounting Podcast is sponsored by Bill.com. As a listener, you've probably heard Blake and I speak about Bill.com on numerous occasions. It feels like they're discussed monthly in either new news or new announcements. But I'm betting there are some things you don't know about Bill.com. Did you know customers use Bill.com platform to process over $70 billion in payments for the 2019 fiscal year? That they partner with several of the largest U.S. financial institutions like Bank of America, PNC, and Chase? More than 70 of the top 100 U.S. accounting firms use Bill.com. Bill.com not only connects to all the popular accounting software providers, they also connect to many of your favorite apps as well. To learn more about how Bill.com's AI-enabled financial software platform creates connections between businesses and helps manage cash inflows and outflows, head over to cloudaccountingpodcast.promo/Bill. That is cloudaccountingpodcast.promo/BILL.
Well, you can't close a period without having the information in. And there's lots of other benefits, I suppose, to automating data entry.
Welcome to the Cloud Accounting Podcast. I'm Blake Oliver.
I'm David Leary.
I'm Aaron Harris, Sage Group CTO and one of the original founders of Sage Intacct.
I'm Brendan Woods. I'm the founder and CEO of AutoEntry. I'm now joined to the team in Sage.
And I'm Dan Miller. I'm the Vice President of Product for Sage Intacct.
And we are here live at Intacct Advantage in Las Vegas, MGM Grand, in the Rotunda, watching everyone go to all of these sessions. Thank you so much for having us here. It's awesome. It's amazing what a large conference this has become. This is my third year. So congratulations to you folks.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Let's just jump in, right? Like, I think a lot of our listeners care about the tech, right? AI automation, you have talked about all of this stuff. So what's kind of next for the next 12 months for Intacct?
So yeah, I think the tagline for the conference here is AI changes everything. And we see it as a journey where we need to help our customers along the journey with us as we develop AI capabilities, and we sort of jointly understand how we're going to change the industry together. So we launched something that we call the Intelligent GL, which essentially uses AI to transform an organization's accounting processes from periodic, point in time, mostly focused on the past processes, to continuous, focused on the future, strategic processes. And we're going to use AI to make that happen.
And Dan Miller, what does that actually look like when it comes to the product? Like, what are you using AI to do, or what are your plans in that regard?
Well, we announced several things that we're going to be doing. As Aaron was talking about, the Intelligent GL is going to allow people to capture information. So for continuous accounting, they're going to be able to have continuous trust in their accounting system because we're going to be able to, through AI, be able to provide an audible system at all the time, and continuous insight, which will help them have predictive capabilities to look into the future about where their business is going so they can make better business decisions.
The thing that really stuck out to me, there was, I think, one phrase that was uttered a few different times was that we aim to eliminate the financial close.
It almost got a standing ovation yesterday.
So, we've been talking about that for a couple of years. And the first time we indicated that we have this very provocative aspirational objective to eliminate the financial close, it made people uneasy. It's a bit of sacrilege.
Yeah, that's our job. Right?
The close has been the thing you do your job around for literally centuries. We're not talking decades or years, or centuries. But when you can really help people to understand how the financial close holds organizations back, right? The idea that I only have the ability to see how I performed once that close is complete, and I have another opportunity to do it a month later when I go through that process again, it really is quite antiquated. And we absolutely have the technology now to give organizations continuous visibility into how they're performing. Now, we're being deliberately provocative here. I don't think we're going to eliminate the close, in the next couple of years. But, what if we got the close down to something like 10 or 20 minutes, right? Where, I'm only within half an hour of having perfect vision into the performance of my organization as the last, there's some straggling transactions coming in, and there's some allocations that have to be continuously computed that haven't come along. It's a directional thing that we think drives excitement, drives creative thinking within the organization, and gets our customers to see a vision of where we want to take this.
So on that theme, Brendan Woods, you've joined us here from AutoEntry, and our listeners are well aware, I believe, that AutoEntry was recently acquired by Sage, and we saw that announcement up on the main stage. What are you up to now? And what can we look forward to when it comes to AutoEntry and Sage Intacct? Whatever you can share with us.
Yeah, sure. So as many of the listeners probably already know, so AutoEntry is all about automating data entry into accounting systems. And I think it's a perfect fit for working with Sage as we go forward because I suppose as to what Aaron was saying, working towards continuous close and continuous audit, even if we go a step further, in order to do that, you need the data in the system. Right, you can't close a period without having the information in, and there's lots of other benefits, I suppose, to automating data entry beyond that. Things like cash flow forecasting and budgeting. If you don't know how many creditors you've yet to input into the system because bills are sitting in an in tray on someone's desk yet to be manually inputted and so forth. So there's lots of value. What we've obviously done over the years has built up an independent business integrating with lots of accounting systems and serving CPAs and accounting and bookkeeping firms around the world to streamline their practices and help them grow. And direct businesses also. But I always envied the opportunity to work more closely to the GL products themselves. And I think both ourselves and Sage saw a great opportunity to do that across that suite of products that they have.
Yeah, there's only so much you can do as a third party. Right now that you're part of Sage, I imagine, deeper integrations and much more is possible in that regard.
Absolutely. There are lots of exciting conversations starting about what's possible, the art of what's possible. That said, it's important also to recognize that we have built up, in a short time, a very significant customer base of over 3,500 accounting and bookkeeping firms around the world. And to serve them and to continue to serve them, we will also obviously support the integrations we have with other products because it is seen as a practice solution for the accounting space, so that they need to think that they can use AutoEntry as a standard operating procedure at the front end of their processes to standardize how they get data into all of their systems, be it no matter what their client may be using. But yes, to your point, as regards Sage, it does give us the opportunity to, at least in this particular space, really optimize the integration experience and the user experience generally of using automation of data entry with the product itself.
This episode of the Cloud Accounting Podcast is sponsored by TeamPay. Wouldn't it be great if you had a way to automatically enforce spend policies and gain full transparency into requests for funds, all the way to reconciliation? And what if you could do that while empowering your employees to buy what they need when they need it? TeamPay gives total control and real-time visibility into spending. TeamPay's distributed spend management platform automates the purchasing workflow and gives you proactive controls and real-time visibility over company spend. And TeamPay also empowers your employees with a user-friendly purchasing experience. When employees make a request, TeamPay automatically enforces policies, issues intelligent payments, and automatically sends the transaction data to your accounting system pre-coded. To learn more about how TeamPay modernizes how you manage spending, head over to cloudaccountingpodcast.promo/TeamPay. That is cloudaccountingpodcast.promo/TEAMPAY.
So obviously AutoEntry is now part of the ecosystem, right? And I think in general, a lot of ERP systems are somewhat closed. So Aaron, this is really for you. With Intacct through the years, it's always been kind of an open ecosystem and open APIs. Can you speak to the importance of having software partners on your journey with you on this?
It's absolutely critical. I like to point out just this proliferation in the modern cloud era of solutions for every conceivable business need. A medium-sized business today may use 100 or more cloud applications across their business processes to drive efficiencies and to make as many processes as possible digital. The same company 15, 20 years ago might have 10. All right, so we not only can't expect to solve all customer problems, it's impractical, it's impossible. But what's unique about being the provider of the financial system of record is that we can then become the hub for all of that activity that's flowing through a company's ecosystem. So it's to our benefit to be very open, right? To make sure that we can plug into any source of economic activity within the business, right? So that we can capture that down into the financial system of record.
So lots of product announcements, feature announcements this year. Dan Miller, you were up on stage talking about Sage People, and that has that happened yet? That integration, or is that forthcoming?
It's forthcoming.
Forthcoming.
The first part of the integration will be happening shortly.
Got it.
But we will rolling out over this 2020 year the capabilities from employee master synchronization, compensation, time entry will all become part of what we're rolling out. The real focus there is on how we leverage and unify the system information to be able to provide better information for customers where they have insight into how the combination of what's going on for their staff from a financial perspective can be blended together with what they know about them from an HR management perspective to make better decisions.
Yeah, that makes so much sense, right? Because so many businesses these days, it's human capital driven. And many accounting systems don't even account for that.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
Many accounting systems don't have the ability to bring in additional information. We've been built open from the very beginning with the idea of our statistical accounts and multi-book accounting to be able to bring information in that's not just your pure accounting, but be able to look at that additional information in ways that help you be able to have metrics that give you insight into how your delay in hiring in a particular location is affecting your future ability to achieve revenue objectives.
So one thing that stuck with me yesterday in your keynotes was this distance from the source of truth, right? And almost this attack on Microsoft Excel, right? So do we see a future where maybe people won't need Microsoft Excel anymore?
I don't believe that will happen in our lifetimes.
I've sort of come to peace with the reality that no matter what we do, people will always love Excel. And it really, the spreadsheets are really, it's elegant, and CFOs feel comfortable there. What we have to do with Sage and Sage Intacct is really make sure that we're encouraging our customers to put things into accounting and finance that need a little bit more control, where flexibility that you get in a spreadsheet isn't necessarily rewarded. And we're also helping them when they want to use spreadsheets to be even more productive than they have been in the past. I've come to peace. It took me a long time. I used to get on stage and rant and rave about why are you still using spreadsheets? It's horrible. There's all kinds of things that can go wrong. I think Dan got the biggest laugh of the
I was
going to
bring that up. The big screen of hashtag ref and div divided by 0 errors. Everyone loved that.
Yeah. So, we're going to continue to remind people of what can go wrong, and horribly wrong in some cases. But yeah, I've turned into a realist as I've gained experience.
I think that Aaron got it. What Aaron just said is really right on. I think that Excel is great for low volume activities or activities where it is something that is managed by an individual. When you start getting into complex processes you're trying to do at volume, the risk of that breaking is too high to have that be built in a solution that anything you might touch in it could potentially break the outcome and give you incorrect information in that process. And so it's totally reasonable for a company to start their budgeting in Excel when they're really small. But when they get big enough where they're starting to collaborate and across the departments with the finance team, and they want direct input because the input needs to come from the experts, that is no longer a scalable thing to do in Excel.
Well, and to be fair, that demo or preview of the visual, was it the Visual Explorer?
Yes.
That you gave was pretty darn. And hopefully people will stop doing their basic pivot tables and charts.
Yeah. So
Excel.
we're building the Visual Explorer to solve, really looking for new ideas, new insights about how they run their business. The fact that you can take a data set, be able to quickly choose a visualization, and then refine and refine and refine helps people think about what's the real question I'm trying to answer. Because a lot of times when we think there's something we want to know, if we explore a little bit, you dig underneath the covers, you learn something that's there that you couldn't have otherwise known. If you had to do that by running report after report after report, that's missing. That kind of insight really only comes through the exploration, and making the exploration easy is what that's about. Building it into the system of record so it's on your transactional system makes it available and easily accessible to all of the individuals that have access to the Intacct data, not just the one person in FP&A.
And if we want people to move from Excel and spreadsheets, into this controlled system of record, we've got to make it easy. Spreadsheets are the original citizen developer platform. People love it because it gives them flexibility. You don't have to be a developer. You can really, do some very creative work, and you become comfortable there. So if we hope for them to do some of these activities that we really would prefer them to do within our environment, we've got to create that same experience where they feel like a citizen developer who's very comfortable with the tools, it's very easy to use, and they see the value of doing it there as opposed to going outside the system where they don't have the same data trust, they don't have the same security that you would otherwise have, and you run the risk of corrupting things and causing problems.
Aaron, how would people get a hold of you if they want to track you down, ask you a question on the socials?
I'm here at the conference wandering the floors. By all means, if you see me, grab me. That's a pretty common occurrence here.
I think that look in Aaron's eyes is like the idea of getting 1,000 feature requests, right?
The million podcast listeners we have might be reaching out.
Yeah, I've got handlers now that try to protect me, but you can find me on LinkedIn.
All right. And Brendan, how about you? Brendan Woods.
Well, you can find me on LinkedIn as well. You can find me at brendan.woods@autoentry.com. And most likely very soon, brendan.woods@sage.com.
And Dan Miller.
Yeah, you can find me on LinkedIn. It's pretty obvious.
All right. Sounds great. Thank you all.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you.